Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to match number one of USC 2026. We are back. It is time to get the tournament underway. We're starting off with number 6 seeded Texas, fresh off of a runner-up finish last year, taking on 27th seeded Indiana, a team that has unfortunately never won a match in the main bracket of this tournament, looking to turn that fortune around this year. I'm T1G. I'm back from the grave after missing out on the entirety of last year. It's good to be back, and it's good to be joined by one of my favorite members of the commentary booth in iFlame. Good evening.
It's always a pleasure to be back for USC. Such an exciting tournament every year. And this year will be no different. These teams are two teams that are very similar to what we saw last year. Texas is the identical roster, I believe, to the 2025 roster that plays second, and only a single change for Indiana. It is Adrian Ogugu, 67, coming in to replace Lee. That is an interesting name for an interesting name. But it was one of their tournament veterans, so we'll have to see how that affects their pick ban. And, you know, despite not having won any matches in the main bracket, Indiana's a team you can't count out. Just last year, they took 3 maps in that very first match against SoCal, and that was a very strong SoCal team, so they could certainly do some damage here. Now, those were mostly on the lower AR leading focused maps, so I expect that's the kind of things they're going to be looking towards in terms of picks, and potentially what we're going to see Texas opt to ban out. But before then, we're going to get some warm-ups, I imagine.
Yeah, we got Texas is forever. The initial warm-up here, the classic warm-up for Team Texas. They've been running this one for quite some time on and off. And everybody gets their first glance of the brand new overlay for this year. Shout out to Chili Repair, shout out to Shadoos for all the hard work in making the stream look especially lovely this time around. A lot of new things going into this one. And we will get into that first warm-up. And yeah, I don't know when the last time was we saw a team get... Ooh, the mod icons are messed up in the skin now. Okay, that's something to take into account. I don't know the last time we saw a team run back an entire roster. So, you know, it feels like pretty much every year most teams are switching somebody out. But Texas saying, nope, we are set. Our players have only continued to get better. DeCayton is still one of the top players in the country. And Flamesteer has only continued to improve. So they said, nope, we're just going to run this back. Adrian Lububu as the addition for Indiana, I feel is gotta help out their mechanics. You talked about them, you know, opting into some of the gimmick picks last year. And losing Weed, losing Drev, I think kind of hurts that, but I think adding Adrian Lububu, who's such a highly ranked player, is going to help out with the mechanics. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, if that does affect the divisions.
Yeah, we'll kind of hope that the rest of their players can kind of make up that deficit in the rating category, and hope that addition kind of balances out their mechanics a bit, like you mentioned. Whether or not that'll be enough to match up to the mechanics of a team like Texas, a little questionable, but all you can do is hope for the best. And speaking of DeCayton, certainly one of the top players in this tournament, this is going to be his 5th appearance for Texas, which makes DeCayton tied with Apraxia, actually, for the most USC appearances for Texas at 5.
Wait, there's a name, blast from the past. Apraxia, one of the tournament players of all time. He's like the OG speed player. I feel like, yeah, if you go back to his era, he's like the reason that speed players exist. Every speed player in a tournament setting can kind of trace it back to him. But now you've got DeCayton on his 5th year. Man, he's been playing so well. And like, if they're gonna go far and try to contend for the overall win, like it's gotta be DeCayton and Flamesteer, just performing really, really well.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we saw last year with Chillier picking up a lot of his slack too on some of those more mechanical hard rock picks. So you do feel like, they're the 6th seed, but in USC, the seeds don't mean much. This is the kind of team you expect to be competing for that top spot, along with a few others, of course. But Texas is certainly one of the terrifying teams of the tournament. And now we'll see if Indiana has a warm up of their own.
They do. It's whatever that. It's just all right.
Oh, I see. Do you think Indiana's feeling pretty all right about this match? They're manifesting it, If they say it enough times, it'll come true.
When does he say "Okay now, ladies"?
They say that after they win.
When does he say "ladies"?
Gotta be patient,
No ladies. Only winners. Only if they win do they get to the ladies part of the song.
Exactly.
Oh my! This is actually 4 minutes of this.
It's only 3:59.
If this is 4 minutes of this, I think I might actually crash out if we just have to listen to it for 4 minutes.
All right, I'm ready for the T1G crash out.
Oh man!
For first match of USC.
Very first match of USC. It's okay. I've already had at least a couple of crash outs.
There you go. It's not even late night USC yet. It's only 10 o'clock.
No, I'm not involving myself in late night USC, bro. I'm an adult with a job. I go to bed.
Yeah, I have also been following a bedtime this year, but for the right matchup, I could, we can get some late night USC going.
I'm sorry. With all due respect, I'm not staying up until midnight to cast North California versus New Mexico. It's just not occurring.
Yeah. New Mexico is gonna win that one. Just you wait.
That would be by such a gigantic margin the biggest upset in the history of the tournament.
It would.
I can't even begin to comprehend exactly how large of an upset that would be.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do we have... we have a lot of data. I don't know if we have data on largest upset. I'm sure Yoshi Lover knows just off the top of his head because he knows that kind of thing.
He's the USC historian.
Yes. Official role and staff listing and everything. I mean, that guy's just the GOAT.
It's impressive.
He's probably in chat right now.
I have no doubt. Or asleep, because it is 2 a.m.
Oh my god, the title says 2025. Wait, that's hilarious. Yo, true. I forgot to fix one number, and it screwed up everything. No. Paste special formula only.
Oh. Going back in time a little bit.
I copied the wrong row. Oh my god, this is a nightmare. There we go.
Liliana says, I love corn. That is very Indiana, I suppose. Isn't that
I'm on the wrong tab.
Okay.
Sorry.
Isn't that one of the states that is just all corn? Indiana's nothing but corn and more corn. Or is that a different state?
You can kind of say that about a lot of states in the Midwest. I mean, I think Iowa and Nebraska are probably, and Kansas are probably kind of better known for that sort of thing.
See, the real question is, if you let USC form Team Corn with all the corn states, do they beat California?
No. Unfortunately, the corn states don't really have a lot of top players.
They do not. They are not nearly as populated.
Bring back the Iowa Linsanity run from 2022 when they got top 8, and they have literally never again had a team.
Yeah. That is the last year Apraxia played USC. Coincidence? Hard to say.
Apraxia cause Iowa.
Yeah, exactly.
This is
I'm not sure if we've had enough squares yet, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. But, the one upside of having this super long warm-up is it's allowing our technical team to troubleshoot the overlay.
That is true.
So,
I don't know what you're talking about. The USC overlay is always perfect.
yeah, this is kind of just how it goes. Match number 1.
Yeah.
We are attempting to fix the score being 0. Hopefully, that'll be doable. I am not sure. We'll have to sort out the mod icons thing, and I genuinely am not sure on that one. Also, this is it just them? I don't know.
I mean, you
There's
can tell what
things
they
that
are,
will
at
have to
least.
be fixed. Yeah, like you can't see the scores and you can't see the accuracy. So
Yeah, we might have to do a bit of math, but it's okay. I'm ready. Oh. Into picks and bans now. Texas did have the first warm-up, which means I believe that they won the roll, and they get to decide the pick ban order first. I have to imagine Texas are going to be banning out some of those more gimmicky picks that Indiana did so well on. And I mean, surely against Texas, you just have to ban out mechanics and hard rock. Maybe, I mean, speed. There's a lot of things to ban out against Texas.
yeah, I mean they're just a good team, right? I feel like I don't know. I feel like you're just gonna probably ban like your worst map more so than you're trying to ban something against them. It's just like
Yep.
what map do we feel the least comfortable with? Um, but there's some wacky stuff in this pool. I mean, kind of as to be expected, right? Data pools being what they are. You've got like Glacier Fall no mud 2. You've got
Yeah.
the Ignore Hidden 2. You've got just whatever DT1 song is. So
You got some fun ones for sure. It's a 2 times easy multiplier as well, so based on some of those warm-up mods, maybe we'll get to see Indiana play an easy on the free mod too.
yeah, Fremont 2 is like weird modable. It's easyable. It's probably flashlightable too, to be honest. I mean, Stackard put on flashlight for the replay. Not that that really counts, but it kind of counts. So there's a world. There's a world.
Yeah, it is doable. That's all we can hope for.
It eventually will be Texas's first ban here, sooner or later.
No,
Oh,
this is USC.
yeah.
We used the whole timer here. Oh, looks like we did get a pick. I saw No Mod 3 first
It's a
ban.
ban,
Hidden
yeah.
2 ban is interesting. I mean, to be fair, it is not. I mean, it is a reading Hidden 2, so it's quite surprising to see a low AR ban from Indiana. Maybe I underestimated how much they were relying on weed for some of those low AR picks. And they're going to be picking DT3. We've got a Kasha Simulator, 233 BPM.
Ooh.
To be honest, seems like a pretty scary pick into Texas, but I guess that's just the map they feel the most comfortable on. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I again, like, I do think that this is more about like, picking and banning for yourself, rather than targeting the opponent. If you're Indiana as the super,
Yeah.
underdog here, right? Um, so hopefully they're just going to be able to be comfortable with this map, and maybe we'll see the debut of the player whose name I don't really want to have to say too often, but Adrian Labubu 67, who's probably 14 years old based on that username.
It's a very good chance. But yeah, I do think a team like Texas, they're just too deep of a roster, especially in these early stages, to really be able to do any targeting with picks or bans. So it is truly going to be all about comfort for Indiana. I think all you can ask for is a similar performance to last year, where get a few points off of Texas, and if so, can be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I think, success for Indiana in this match, you're really not expecting much of a chance to win. I think success in this match really does just look like, a couple points on the board. Win your first pick, get off on the right foot, something like that would be really good for them. Kind of hoping for the best in that regard, right? I think while a part of me is just anticipating Texas 5-0 possibility, there's a part of me that just likes seeing the underdog being competitive. So we will we'll get into this here and see how it goes. It's chillier, it's Decatur, it's Flames tier. It is the entire state of Indiana, JT Cantwell and Adrian Labubu 67. So the lore is Adrian Labubu 67 played in USC 2020. I
Not according to the roster history.
only if we're missing something or it's a really bizarre name change.
Yeah,
Which I guess could be true. I don't know.
I think it would have to
It's
be.
Banana Boy.
Oh,
Why did between all of us involved not know that? If that's true.
I mean, I certainly didn't check.
I actually might blame not myself for that.
There you go. It's somebody else's fault entirely. We already get an early miss though from JT. It will be traded by Chillier Pair. Shout out to Chillier Pair, who instead of warming up was getting graphics sorted for USC. But it's going to be relatively even. Another miss coming from Chillier Pair, but it has been traded by JT. So it's going to be 2 FCs to 2 early on. Really not a bad start for Indiana on their first pick, and we're already halfway through the map now, so any miss at this point is going to be relevant. We'll have to keep an eye on those two players that have already found misses, Chillier and JT Cantwell, as we get into the final and hardest part of the map right after this kind of break section. Everybody hitting these linear patterns. Now just a quarter left to go. That's a really big miss from Adrian. Both Texas full combos managed to hold on, and they're going to really start to pull away with this score lead. They just need to hold on for another few seconds, and they should have this one in the bag.
Yeah, that miss from Adrian was pretty much the undoing of Indiana on this pick. I mean, honestly, as long as Flames tier and Decatur held, it probably didn't matter regardless. I think Texas was gonna hold on to be comfy, but that just made it a pretty one-sided sort of showing by the time it was all done. 800K margin, double FC on Decatur and on Flames tier, and no FCs on the Indiana side. So that's kind of just how you'd expect that to go a little bit, I think.
Yeah, seems about par for the course in this one. Is an early break point, and Texas are going to have the next pick. We'll see what they want to go for. Feels like they really just have a lot of options available. Anything mechanics, anything kind of small circle size, even some of the DT picks. I mean, free mod is a good option because they have a player that is incredibly strong on pretty much each mod. You know, Chillier is the go-to hard rock player for this team, and they have a couple players that can switch in for the hidden Toybot and Trigon, both very comfortable on that mod. But they're going to go for DT1, sticking with the same category. Another short one, a minute and 30 seconds only, and sounds like aim-ish.
Yeah, aim with a little bit of tapping. It's only 200 BPM, so it's not like super fast by any means, but there are some bursts, some slightly longer streams. So, there is a little bit of that tapping element to this, but also a fair amount of aim. So, if you're feeling like the team that's just superior on mechanics, this pick is right up your alley. I think this, and they could honestly just go with the DT2 as well. Like I think, you know, based on how that
Yeah.
DT3 went, you can just go all the DTs for Team Texas, and you'll be in a good spot. I think this is a pretty solid first pick. And I know from talking to Chillier that, like, they're just anticipating a whole lot of FCs, right? This is not a super hard pool, especially when you've got very, very experienced players and, you know, ones who are willing to put in at least a modicum of practice, you know, a couple of run-throughs here and there just to make sure they got the basics of the pool down. So I think, yeah, this is just likely to see a similar outcome that we saw in DT3.
Yep. But the easier pool does give Indiana some more potential to steal a couple points away from Texas. If Texas finds a single unlucky, you know, miss at the halfway point of a map and Indiana managed to hold out a little bit longer, they could find themselves with a point on the board. We'll see if they can do that on this DT1. Maybe not, based on the in-game chat.
Yeah, y'all evil for this. I'm surprised, like, if they were willing to pick into DT3 that they'd feel like DT1 is this bad. So I guess we'll have to wait and see if they're doing a small amount of trolling in the game chat, or if this is genuinely a poor map for them. But we'll see. As mentioned, it's another short one on this DT1, just a minute and a half. So we'll get into it pretty quickly here. And it's an early break from Chillier pair, like you had mentioned, you know, a couple of opportune breaks from Texas, and who knows, Indiana might be able to take advantage. Couple of misses.
Yeah, do have Swizzy in the lobby for Indiana. Looks like another more recent name change. And we've got a couple misses there from Indiana. Now it's going to be 1 SC to 1. Indiana will hold on to the slight lead for now, but with some big accuracy drops, it's going back over towards Texas very quickly, and the score will flip there. Only the quarter way through the map, and plenty of combo to go, so lots of time on either side, but it's really good recoveries from both the Caden and Chillier pair of Flames here, being the last holder of that FC on the side of Texas. It's pretty much all eggs in the Indiana basket right now. The player Indiana, not the state, as they are the only ones holding that full combo.
Yeah, if they're gonna have any chance in this one, it's got to be the player Indiana to hold on to the FC here to give them any opportunity. But Flames Cheer matching. It is gonna be the combo advantage though. Decate breaking and Chillier not on a ton of combo. We'll see if Liliana can maybe work to bring this back with that combo lead. No room for error here for Indiana. They've got to maintain everything they have until the very ending, but that score gap is coming down. The accuracy drops are really hurting them, but the score is going to be very close. I don't know. It's going to be close. It's going to go over. It's going to go over. It's going to be a breakpoint, Indiana. Just like that.
Incredible. That is 1 point on the board. This one is even off to a better start than their match against SoCal. They actually went down 3-0, brought it back 3-3, and then lost the next two. But now it's 1-1. You know, they got some points in the bank, and that's a break point as well. Maybe there was some reasoning behind that DT3 pick.
Yeah, I definitely they were smart to pick into into DT3 and to lose it by 800K to bait Texas into picking DT1, which they could then win in the last 5 seconds. No, I think that must have just been a super giga ultimate low roll on the DT3, right? Because if they can play the DT1 like that, clearly comfortable enough with the skill set, relatively similar. You do have the DT2 here if you want to stick with this sort of thing. You've got the Nomad 5 if you want to play more tapping. Other than that, it would be a bit of a skill set switch up to go to anything else.
Yeah, it certainly would, but that's kind of the risk on some of these easier pools. Takes a couple unlucky misses, couple low rolls, and all of a sudden you're dropping points to significantly lower seeded teams. And we're getting a quick Nomad 2 pick, Acerfall. This is one of the maps that you mentioned at the start of this match.
Yeah, and I don't know that this is one that I necessarily anticipated Indiana picking after the first couple of maps, but you know, talking about them, you know, being a fan of the more gimmicky picks in the pool last year and knowing that they have much of the same roster returning this time around, going into, you know, the tech pick of the Nomad pool makes sense in that particular context. So we'll see, you know, as we really switch up the skill set a lot here, going from those first 2 picks into this one, we'll see how it suits them. This is, you know, got some slider aim to it and some little awkward like kick slider patterning and stuff. So it'll really challenge a completely different element of gameplay than we've seen so far.
Does mean we'll probably get to see some new players in for Texas, as you might see them bring out some of their gimmick players. Toybot was in the lobby momentarily. Flames here back in for this one. They might just be running the same roster as well. I mean, honestly, at this stage of the tournament, pretty much anybody on that roster can sub in for a lot of these maps.
Do we know anything about the other bubble?
And the other bubble has played, did play in 2025 as well, but didn't play too often. I think was mostly in for some of the more gimmicky stuff, some of like the hidden 2 low AR stuff. So he's kind of been there. If I'm remembering correctly, which is a big if, was I think you know, mostly in for low AR gimmick stuff, but we'll see. Potentially has a bit of an expanded role on this roster for year 2.
We listen to the dulcet tones of Sakura Burst. Park remix, I guess. So some combination thereof. We'll get to find out. The return of the other bubble. First participation in this match. Will it allow Indiana to secure the first victorious pick on map 3 now after back-to-back breakpoints to start things off?
Yeah, another short map. They're picking all the shortest ones. No complaints here. And first appearance for Toybot as well. A player we definitely know a good bit about. Has played for Texas for a few years now. I think it's been third year for Toybot, and has been exceptional on a lot of the more gimmicky picks. And it's actually year 4 for Toybot. That's a slider. My God.
Yep. Yeah, those sliders are super cool because I mean you just have to aim the follow points, right? But it's a very cool visual. As we get into the map proper, just said, kind of kick slider jump, some awkward, fast-paced sliders that you do have to follow. The little gaps in those triples. There's just just those slightly little wonky aspects of this map you really have to pay close attention to, and everybody doing so thus far as well. There is the first break. It's going to be the other bubble to fall, and Texas will try to take advantage. Already in the lead on accuracy. Let's see what they can do with combo.
Yeah, unfortunately, with that set of misses on those back and forths, the other bubble found a huge accuracy drop down at 93, which is on top of the combo disadvantage. Going to put Texas massively in the lead. We do finally see a miss coming out from Decatur, as well as Toybot. So Indiana, now with 2 FCs, have potential to bring this one back, and 100,000 points on a map this short is not that big of a deficit. Unfortunately, one of those FCs is 95% accuracy, which is going to slow down the comeback just a little bit. Liliana, she's got a very nice combo at the moment, and good accuracy to boot. The score does flip back over. We could potentially see Indiana getting a second point. Liliana, unfortunately, is going to find the miss, not trade it back to anyone on the side of Texas, and now it's those recovery combos for Texas making the difference. And it looks like it might just go the way of Texas, despite Indiana's best effort. That last FC drops, and that is going to seal it.
It's just the accuracy difference at the end of the day for much of the map, unfortunately, right? Like the 94, 95 being those big kind of stumbling blocks for Indiana, whereas Texas, you've got, the higher 96s. And it doesn't feel like a 300K victory. It feels like really much less than that when you look at how the map played out. But, a win's a win, and Texas will take it for the 2-1 lead. And now we are no skip Friday, I guess. This very, very long ending. Every time that this map is in a tournament, you run into that ending, having to wait for people. But so 2-1 Texas, 3 straight breakpoints to get things going in this match. I don't know, man. Just throw your hands up. Throw a dart at a board for your next pick because clearly nothing
Yeah,
we've done so far has worked.
there you go. That's the strat from Indiana. They don't need their own picks. They're just going to collect those breakpoints.
True. Sooner or later, a a pick one of your own is acting like consolidating a break. Well, is consolidating a break point really.
Yeah.
So eventually, eventually, unless you just want to play straight for tiebreaker, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see if they want to stick to the DTs or if they've been spooked a little bit by that DT1 breakpoint earlier. But as always with a team like, Chillier, Decaden, and Flamesteer, you could certainly see them going for the precision pick because that is just such a terrifying roster on anything precision. And you could even look at the anti-mod precision pick as an option. I think they've done that against a lot of teams. We'll see if they feel the need to do that here. I think on a pool that is of lower star rating like this one, you don't necessarily need to go for your strongest options. You just pick whatever you can full combo the most consistently. And we are going to get a free mod. It's going to be free mod 1, Sick World. It's going to be the first longer map of this match, nearly 4 minutes. Bit of a consistency test here.
Yeah, this is actually the longest map in the entire pool in the tiebreaker. So we go from minute 45, minute 30, minute 2.5 minutes to straight up to 4 minutes. We're challenging a completely different element of gameplay now. Happy 30, pretty classic OG mapper, despite this being only a couple year old map. But Happy 30's been around doing it for a long time, and I think you can kind of tell from the fact that it's just, your bonk standard CS4 Air 9 like you used to see on every map ever. That it's kind of that. It's not anti-mod, but there are ways in which this is vaguely uncomfortable regardless of which mod you take.
Yeah. As a reminder, for those of you who may not have seen previous iterations of USC, there are 2 unique mods required. Of course, Easy does not count as a unique mod, so you either have to take a hidden with the Easy or have 2 other players take mods. On a map like this one, I don't think that's going to be considered anyways, but this is the kind of map where we could certainly see some overmods from a couple of players, and maybe something like a hidden hard rock.
Yeah, I think some, I would have said a chillier pair, but it doesn't appear that he's in for this. But somebody like that who's, pretty comfortable with that mod combo could run HPHR on this, just because it's not going to really make anything too crazy. But, I'd expect 1 hidden and then 1 hard rock or HPHR. Like, you're just not doing anything too wild with a map like this. So we'll get loaded in and find out here shortly, I think, what it's going to be. The GLHFs do come out, so we'll be able to make that clear shortly. Although it's going to be a little hard to tell because of the slight overlay trouble. I actually can't tell
That's an easy. I see an easy
that
one.
is an easy
Aiden.
on Aiden. Yeah.
That's what I like to see.
So we have an easy on Aiden. We have, I'm going to assume that's hidden on Toybot Hard Rock on Flames here. HDHR indeed on Liliana, and the hidden only on the other bubble. No mod on JT Cantwell versus the easy on Aiden is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, with the 2x multiplier, for certain maps, it does just make the easy better than no mod if you can match that score, especially if you're well practiced on easy, which would have to be the case, I suspect, for a 4-minute long map. You're not sight rating that one on easy. But this hidden hard rock multiplier is going to add up as well if Liliana can hold on to a pretty strong combo throughout this map. For now, we're going to get a bit of an intro here. Map's going to start off relatively simple, and it's going to be a slight accuracy lead for Indiana. I believe that's mostly because of the easy. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think the easy multiplier is factored into the score.
It's not.
Okay. Yeah, so it's just easy multiplier difference right now. Unfortunately, we cannot see the scores right now, so the individual scores, so it could be a little bit tricky to calculate that easy score, but we'll do our best.
I don't know if that's going to be fixable for this weekend or if it's going to have to wait till next week, unfortunately, but we'll see as we go. Might, if it's fixable within like the couple hours after this match ends, that's the window that we have available for us.
Yeah. Well, right now,
it's a lot of FCs.
Yeah, it is still an FC on that easy, so we can imagine the deficit from the easy mod is going to be roughly 80k for now. And I mean, that hidden hard rock multiplier is going to start to add up. Unfortunately, I could not tell you what the accuracy is. I think that's 97% on the hidden hard rock, but I'm seeing a lot of 99s on the side of Texas. Few 100s there from the other bubble. Also on 97 accuracy, I believe.
Genuinely can't tell. Genuinely can't tell, sadly. I have a... Wait.
I'm waiting.
If the client doesn't automatically... Okay, I guess now that it's 100k, now it's separating a little bit. I was just thinking, like, if it doesn't automatically do the easy double, how are their scores this close? But that is a big miss from Liliana on the HDHR.
Yeah, and a pretty big accuracy, deficit on top of that for Indiana, unfortunately. And I mean, this is not especially difficult of a section. It's a pretty consistent map, so Texas are certainly capable of holding on and really pushing the score. Like, that's a big miss from the other bubble. Texas have a 2 FC advantage on top of the accuracy advantage. They're going to start to just absolutely run away with this map. Only 1/4 of the map left to go, still holding that easy FC, so they have the advantage even before factoring in that easy multiplier, and Texas are just so far ahead right now. I would have to imagine they're ahead by at least 300, 350k.
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty sizable win once the easy multiplier is taken into account. I mean, when you're winning by nearly 200k without it being doubled, yeah, it's a brutal one. Those misses coming, especially where they did for Indiana, were just rough. The midway through on the slow section for Liliana was absolutely tragic. And this is going to be not quite a three-way for Texas, but it will be, if this continues, it'll be a very near three-way. It looks like a break in like the first 30 combo for Aiden, unfortunately, on the easy, but like, bro just did not have to flex this hard. He is absolutely out here aura farming with this easy score on a map that I don't think we really predicted easy to be run on. But man, that's a score and a half. Double FC on Flames tier and Toybot, and the reverse choke from Aiden. That is roughly a 3 million team score. That's very, very impressive.
Yep. Yeah, if there are any USC players watching, if you have a chance to aura farm with easy, you should do it, because it's fun to watch. Yeah, it's going to be a 400,000 point win for Texas. And unfortunately, that is sometimes the reality of playing against a team like Texas. There's going to be a couple maps where if you don't get a 3-way FC, you're just not winning the point. Texas goes up 3-1, but Indiana does have the next pick. And that hasn't necessarily worked out for them so far, but Texas finally got their first point, consolidating that break point. Indiana has a chance to get one back here.
Yeah, it feels like a tough ask though, right? When you have lost your first 2 picks so far. So you got a tough task in front of you to try to even win your own picks, let alone finding another break point. I think the one was a bit of a hiccup on the part of Texas, but you went into the Nomad 2 for Indiana. Did not go super great for you, so what feels like it might be reasonable to follow that up with.
Apparently the creator.
I was literally about to say Nomad 4 just to give us something different, right? Like kind of a classic consistency alt map, which again, like, we're seeing a lot of different skill sets over the course of this match. Obviously DT3 and DT1 had their similarities, but then going Nomad 2 into 3 mod 1 into Nomad 4 is a lot of variation. So they're really, casting a wide net here in their attempt to dredge up a meal of 1 point on their own pick.
Yeah, which I think is smart. I think it's the correct decision. When you are a lower seeded team, sometimes you just gotta throw things at the wall and see what sticks. Liliana thinks that Texas should pick free mod 2 next. And you know what? I agree. That would be fun. We get to see more easy, which is really all we watch USC for, right? Is the easy plays.
Yes.
Not
USC
for-
is USC is about weird pools, easy, and occasional once in a blue moon flashlight. And
Who cares about state pride? We're here for the easy plays.
I mean, you don't even like you definitively don't care about state pride, not being from this country. And it's hard to have state pride when you're not from one of about like 6 states or halves of states.
I've heard Canada's a state these days too, indeed.
Yeah, let's.
That is the opinion of USC, by the way.
Let's get Canada in here as a state. We'll get Greenland in here as a state. We'll get Venezuela in here as a state. Prayers up to Venezuela. We'll get
Imagine the outrage if Canada won USC.
That's an interesting one. I suspect Canada would probably win USC.
I mean, yeah, because it's just the Canadian OWC team.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. But I mean, we've got some strong. Okay, would Canada win USC if California was combined?
Most likely. I mean, some years maybe not, but I do think they would still win.
I can tell you definitively they would not beat peak composite California.
No.
But that isn't fair because peak composite California is like arguably
It's just like
USC or OWC most years on its own.
Yeah.
So anyway, into the creator we go. We've got Flames through Decatur, Trigon, Swizzy, Indiana, Liliana. Another reasonably long pick here, right? 3.5 minutes, following up the 4 minutes of the free mod 1. So we'll see how the consistency feels with the early breaks coming in for both Swizzy and Liliana already. Not the greatest start.
Yeah, I mean, if there was a place to miss, it would be the start. Certainly not the end of the world in a map this long. Swizzy is Greenfire, by the way, more recent name change. They do still have one FC to work with on Indiana, and you really like to see that FC is a high accuracy one. Will help boost that score a little bit, and because of the length of the map, they're only going to be down by about 100,000 points despite those missing FCs, and it is good recovery as well. Unfortunately, Texas have insane accuracy, still an SS on Decatur, Flames tier holding a high 99, and they've got the combos to boot.
Yeah, this is just a good start for Texas, looking to compile a sizable advantage, through the first half of the map. Up by 150k, a third of the way into a 3.5 minute, 4 minute long map is a pretty good spot to be. Do have good recoveries from Indiana though, right? Swizzy, Liliana both have done pretty well for themselves, getting back into the swing of things, and the entire state of Indiana by themselves on the remaining FC on that side with the solid act, right? 99.4. So matching Flames here, just a tiny bit behind Decatur, but it's just the triple FC for Texas still in hand. Hard to contest that.
Nothing Indiana can do but wait for the time being as the score lead continues to grow. 250,000 points, it is a lot on a map this long. We do get a miss
That flow pattern.
Trigon. Yeah, it's a really tough pattern, but unfortunately Indiana does trade it back, and it was their last FC. That's the one player you really could not afford to have miss, and now Texas are going to be able to push this lead even further. Those recovery combos on the side of Indiana, they're good, but they're just not enough, and they're quickly running out of time to make up the points on this map.
I mean, you've still got a quarter to go, right? But when you have a double FC on the other side against 2 non-FCs on your side, I mean, kind of writing's on the wall there, right? It's got to be breaks from both Flames tier and Decatur, and soon, if Indiana were to have any chance of bringing this back. And with the lead out at 400k, I just think that moment has already passed us by, in fact.
Yeah, unfortunately, they are going to be out of time, and so Indiana will give up their 3rd breakpoint on free picks in this match. But we could still see Texas go for the free mod 2 pick. You're up 4-1. Why not?
600K. I feel it really does feel more and more like that DT1 was just the weirdest hiccup from Texas, like just the blip. And there's the 4th point.
Yeah, Texas has been rolling since then. Dominant point after dominant point, winning by 300, 400, and then 600K. And so Indiana's going to have to pull out something special for this next map.
Yeah, and with it being the Texas pick, like, I don't know. I feel like you can just pick pretty much anything here if you're Texas too. Like, it just doesn't matter.
You definitely could.
Done. Oh, that is
There
Hard
we
Rock
go.
1 is what that is. Oh, that's not Hard Rock 1. That's Fremont 2. Okay. Oh, that's Swizzy anyway, so they're not on
Yeah,
the
not
correct team.
exactly.
It is? Is it going to be Fremont 2? Are
It
we Oro
is.
farming some more? Woya Jinkila?
We are
Let's
Aura
go.
farming. Somebody put Aiden back in for some more easy. And we know Indiana has a couple easy players as well. We need at least one easy on each team.
Just listen to this wonderful music.
It is incredible. I think we need to introduce a rule for USC where if everybody on the team takes easy, you don't have to take any other mods.
3-way easy is all you need, yo.
Exactly.
It's actually insane. I need to know why my Nightbot is signed into the
There you go. Sign my petition to put me in charge of the USC rules.
Triple easy. Man. Well, what if it's
just add an easy pool?
Should you go? I'm questioning my own rule set here. Would it be allowed to go easy flashlight, hidden flashlight, and hard rock flashlight?
Yeah, and as long as you have
I think that would be allowed, right? I don't even know. I don't know if I would allow that if somebody asked me. Please nobody ask me.
I mean, it is allowed according to the rules, though. As long as you have one hidden and one hard rock, then you're good to go. I think flashlight also counts as a unique mod, so really you can do pretty much whatever you want for the most part, as long as you have two of hidden hard rock and flashlight. Well, here we go into Fremont 2, Indiana, with their backs against the walls.
Where's
they asked?
Bro, okay, we still have easy. It's okay.
We still got the easy. Yeah, we'll take it. And we get our easy from Liliana as well. Indiana got the pick they asked for. Now let's see what they can do on it.
Well, I mean, Flamesphere is already broken. No, granted, so is the other bubble, but...
Unfortunately, the other bubbles was a trade miss, so it's down at low 90-something accuracy. I think it's 94 now. It's hard to tell. But we do still have an SS on the board on that Trigon easy pick. And I think from Liliana as well. Both the easy players still holding SSs. Nice to see. Not a long one either. We're already almost halfway through the map actually, and it's going to be a 100,000 point lead for Texas. As the other bubble finds another miss.
Yeah, there's just a bunch of short maps in this pool. The other bubble is really not having a great time, unfortunately. Kind of forced onto the hidden, perhaps. Is not booked to be having a super great time, sadly. And it's the near freeway from Texas. I mean, story of the match.
It is indeed. And it's safe to say Texas is going to close this one out in dominant fashion, and they're going to be moving on to the next round of the winner's bracket, where they will be playing the winner of Massachusetts versus Arizona.
Chillier against his former state.
There you go. That's
possible.
USC drama.
Possible. And so Indiana then will play the loser
Of
of
that main
Massachusetts and
match.
Arizona. That
Exactly that.
boy, that could be interesting. With all the roster changes and such that we've seen, um, Arizona has really left their old guard behind. 3 player changes this year that dropped several of their longtime players. So maybe that's where Indiana finally gets their bracket stage match win. Um, who knows? But for now,
Yeah.
it's just it's the SSs on both teams to close it out. The easy players just SSing because I guess that's what you do. But Texas up
Naturally.
the whole time, really never in any sort of danger. And 5-1. And yes, I know there isn't a match results channel. There's going to be a match results channel in 5 seconds. Whoever just pinged me, I'm sure that's what they were pinging me about. So, well done, Texas. Good luck in the next round to them. And
There you go. And as T1G makes the match results channel, I'll go ahead and give us an outro. Congratulations, Texas, on their win. Hard fought by Indiana. But don't go anywhere. We've got another match coming in about, I was going to say 10 minutes, but that is a lie. It is in an hour and 10 minutes. And it is going to be Maryland versus Florida for UTC. That should be a fun one. Obviously, Florida, a very scary team, but Maryland has some strong players as well. They are actually the higher seed this year, and so that should be a good one. That's going to do it for us. Huge thank you to T1G for joining me in the caster booth. I've been Flame, and we'll see you back in about an hour for the next match.